What's up everybody, welcome back to Aerial Assault, and today we're here to do another XOP review of their new budget-friendly platform, the XOP Edge.
I never stop, no, I don't quit. And when I swing, I don't miss. You ain't never seen.
Alright guys, before we get into this, if you don't mind, please go below, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. You know, it doesn't cost you anything and it really helps me out. I do a lot of this stuff and get a lot of these products on my own dime. You know, whenever you subscribe and watch the videos, it really helps put money back in my pocket to be able to help me get these things. So if you don't mind, please go down below and hit that. Like I said, it costs you nothing, really helps me out. Anyways, let's move on to the XOP Edge and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright guys, the new XOP Edge platform. This is a 100% cast aluminum platform besides the bolts. It is extremely strong, but you kind of pay for it in weight. Man, I'm getting over 5.5 pounds with this thing. If you use a cam buckle strap, you're looking at a little over 6 pounds. It is heavy, you know, but it's also 150 bucks. This is the cheapest full-size platform on the market, and it's readily available. You can get it at Shields, Midway USA, all kinds of places, and I think at that value, I mean, or at that price, it's a pretty good value. I mean, from what I can tell so far. I've not got to hunt out of it, but I've used it here in the yard a lot, and I mean, this thing is probably the most solid platform I've ever stepped on. Way more solid than you would ever need. Trophy line platforms are way more solid than you would ever need. This thing does not budge. I mean, with me on it, I can't feel any flex. But as you can see, it has a tree bracket similar to, or exactly identical to most XOP products, the XOP and Lone Wolf Custom Gear buttons. But overall, at the price and the availability, it seems like a extremely good value. Yes, it's going to be heavier, but it's also going to be cheaper. So we're talking about the cheapest full-size platform out there. It's not the biggest platform, but it's also not the smallest. We're talking 13.75 by 11 inches. You'd say the average shoe size is between 10 and 12, and this is plenty for that. I'd say somebody with a size 14 shoe could probably use this. You know, if they're looking for something on the smaller side, this would be on the smaller side for them. Anyway, let's put it on the tree. I kind of want to show you how it performs on the tree because I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked. I've stood on, I think, every platform on the market other than Cruiser, and they're all great. I mean, I have no complaints with any of them as far as durability, strength, all that. But I mean, this thing's like standing on a solid surface. I mean, like, it does not feel like it's attached to a tree. So anyways, let's hook it up and I'll show you and let's see what you think. All right, and I'm not using a cam strap here. I'm actually trying out this PSH from Vital Ground. I don't know enough about it yet to really give an opinion on that, but I want to show you me camming this to the tree. Most people aren't going to use a cam strap, so I didn't see a reason to use one in this video, although I do mention that the weight puts this thing over 6 pounds with a cam strap. But the way this thing cams to the tree, I mean, it's absolutely rock solid. As you can see, put that in there, and like, I only have contact on one side. There's not even contact on this side, and there's a little bit of wobble. Get up on here, which I do think it's going to need some stealth strips. But as you can see, I mean, this thing is rock solid on the tree. Like I said, probably the most solid platform that I've ever had. I mean, it bites as good as some of the others. Let's look at how much angle you can get. I will say one problem here is I think the bolt in this thing is way too long. It's way too much adjustment up. So right there, it's about all the way out. So if you wanted the downward lean, like some people prefer, I can't even get it to go all the way. So that's the downward lean you would get. And then, like I told you, this bolt's extremely too long. So there's a place that you could adjust some of this. Kind of speed through this. Whew. If you were on a tree leaning this bad, you probably don't need to be saddle hunting on it. Okay, that's about all the way in. That's close. As you can see, that's the lean up. So, cut the bolt off. Something. I mean, you could tighten the nut down some and cut it off yourself. It's probably something I'll do because right now it's just extremely too long. There's no reason for it to be there. All right, so we got this thing cammed on the tree. Got that bolt shoved back in there. It's entirely too long to get it back to level. I mean, there's still like 3 inches sticking out of that thing. Actually, I think the bolt is around 3.5 inches long. Just entirely too long. Way too much movement back and forth. But let's climb up on it and see what it'll do. And let's go ahead and tow hook it one time. All right, as you can see, this thing's a little bit floppy. I think if you tighten that bolt down there, kind of take some of that out. Just needs to be a little bit tighter, but there it goes. It's tow hooked pretty good. The one thing I will say, the teeth could be a little bit sharper, you know, so that they actually dug into the tree, but I still think it's sufficient. I mean, we're talking $150 platform, and it cams pretty solid to the tree. As far as the platform itself though, I mean, like if I want to stand up on this thing, there's absolutely no movement in this scenario. So for like side shots or behind shots, you know, what kind of movement are we getting? See right there, you can see that that's where the stronger teeth or sharper teeth would come in. I think you can fix that pretty easy, but like it kind of wants to slide a little bit, but it's not bad. I think some of it has to do with that slop inside that bolt, that if we tighten it up. But nothing makes me think that I couldn't hunt off this platform. I'm actually, you know, for 150 bucks, I think it's a pretty good deal if you're willing to carry the weight, because I mean, it is an absolute hog. But I do like that it is big enough. I have 10.5 shoes, you know, stand up there. I mean, I can make pretty much any shot from standing up if I'm willing to go through that ability, or that twisting and turning. Also, a couple other features that it has that I haven't talked about are these gear deals on the front, I guess for your gear rope. I don't really know why those are there. It's something I never use. I think it's kind of stupid myself. This step on top, you know, that's pretty common with these platforms now. You're starting to see more of that. But, you know, it is a nice size. It's not too big. It's not causing it, you know, to pack funky or anything. The one thing that I do like are these little T-handles on the side to help tie stuff to, or help tie your rope up. You know, Lone Wolf Custom Gear had those. And once you use a stand or a platform that has those, it's really hard to kind of go backwards. You know, now that I have another stand, they don't have those little ties, and it seems like you're always looking for a place to hook your strap to. Anyways, just, you know, something that I do like, and I would like to see more people incorporate if they can. I don't know what the patents on that are, but anyways, that's how it performs on a tree. All right, guys, that's the XOP Edge. You know, I think I've said about it as much as I can about it, other than, you know, hunting from it and giving you a little bit more feedback. But what I've seen in the yard, I think it has a spot on the market. 350 pound weight rating, 150 bucks. I think they will sell bukus of them. Do I think it's the best platform? Not by far. And I think there's a few problems. One, I think it's about 2 pounds too heavy. Even if it was a pound lighter, you know, 4.5 pounds, that sounds doable. 5.5 pounds, it's like, I mean, that's the heaviest platform on the market, and Trophy Line makes one, and you know, it's a lot bigger than this at 5 pounds. So with that said though, this is cheap. I mean, 150 bucks is not much to spend. So if you're on a budget or you're a heavier guy, this may be the platform for you. The one good thing is yeah, it's 5.5 pounds, but it's not very bulky. So, I mean, it will fit on the outside of a backpack. It's a lot less bulky than, say, the Mission. So if bulk is important to you and not weight, then maybe this is for you. There are a couple things that I think I need to point out. For one, I've not used this very much. You can see the paint is already chipping there and on the teeth, which is expected. I do think you'll probably have to slap some paint on it every now and then, or maybe cover it with stealth strips. That's not a huge issue to me. I'm not too big into having my gear look extremely pretty. I think you're going to have to tighten these bolts up. Like this standoff has a little bit of play in it, which is actually not a bad thing for crooked trees. But even that, I think it's a little too loose. And this, I think it's not got enough friction, so I'll tighten that bolt up, which you can see that bolt is also too long. And I mentioned this bolt being too long, as you can see there. But those are easy fixes. For 150 bucks, you expect to kind of alter your gear a little bit. Another thing I'll probably do is cut these things off. I see absolutely zero need for them. I don't know, I'll keep them on there for a little while, and if I use this thing, I'll try it. You know, and this may be one of those deals that if you think you're going to leave something in the tree for 4 or 5 days, maybe during the rut, and you don't want to carry your $200 platforms, you know, maybe this is something you want to leave in the tree so that if something did happen, you weren't losing it a lot. Like I said, I just think there is a market for it, but it's not the best platform, and I'm not here to tell you it is, but it is the cheapest and it performs pretty well. The one other thing I think I would do is sharpen these teeth a little bit. I love how they're beveled. You know, when you cam it into the tree, it just wants to push though and stay on the outside of the bark. I wish these were just a slightly bit sharper. That's easy to fix with a file or angle grinder, so that when you put side pressure on it, instead of it wouldn't roll around the tree because it's on the outside of the bark, it would actually grip inside of it a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a fair product, and I think it's set at a pretty fair price. But anyways, like I said, if you don't mind, please go below, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. I got several videos in the pipeline, and until next time, guys.